Now, I must say, I think this is one of the fewer things that puts me off of the GoPro and using it for vlogging. Further than that, it's an amazing camera. But if you look at the lines here behind me, of the wall and of this little shelf here, you can see that old fish eye thing they always talk about when you bring on the wide screen on that. But I mean, if you can look past that, then it's actually a pretty amazing thing. So what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, you've been missing out on so much, so hit that bell notification, subscribe, and make sure you tune in for every video we do. For today's video, I thought I'm going to show you guys how to remove a Sram XX1 Dub Crankset. And we're basically just swapping it over to a bigger chainring. But I mean, there's a lot of guys that's asking me how to get that thing off. And number one, they do sometimes sit like crazy. But it's super easy to take it off. And I'm going to show you guys. We're going to put on the new chainring. I'll show you where to grease and where not to grease. And then we'll just put it back in. So let's do this. Alright, so one of the things a lot of people do wrong is they come to the cranky end and they see there's an outer cap, and then there's obviously the inner screw that tightens your crank to the other side of the crank, or to the spindle, the axle. Now the problem is, it doesn't say it on the anymore, but do not remove the outside cap. It works as a puller, so that's basically the cap which your bolt pushes into, and then it pulls or pushes the whole crank off the axle. So what I'm quickly going to do is I'm going to go get my 8mm Allen key. We're going to take this off, and I'm going to show you guys the best way to try and stand to do this, because these bolts, like I said, they are sometimes really stuck in there. They don't have enough grease on it. So we're really going to take this off, and then I'll show you guys how to remove that chainring there. So let's do this. Alright, best is maybe just to stand behind the bike, take off the rear wheel, so you can hold onto this pedal. You've got a nice grip there. Sometimes what happens is you want to do it like this, and then you're going to hit your own thumb or your own hands. It's going to be in the way. So the best tip I can give you guys is stand behind the bike, grab the pedal on this side, put in your Allen key there, make sure it's in there nice and secure, and then basically just push down. And that's what I mean when they get stuck. Let's get the big boys. Alright. Alright, so it was on there like yesterday and last week Friday, but we got it off. We actually just took a big torque wrench, so we had a bit more leverage. And the only thing you're going to do is you're going to continue turning in this anti-clockwise. We're going to make sure we grease that up nicely before we put it back, so next time I work on this bike I won't have this problem. So we're just going to continue turning this. One thing to be careful of, if you do it from one side, make sure your hands don't hit the chainring, because it is quite sore, and don't damage your hands badly. Just get an Allen key there, we'll take it off a bit quicker. Remember, it's an 8mm Allen key, and always make sure when you put it in, that's in nice and secure so it doesn't slip out. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to basically change this chainring for the client. He wants to go something bigger and obviously an oval offset. So we're going to remove those 3 little bolts there with the torque wrench. Torque key, and then we're going to put on the new one. I'm going to show you guys how to do that just now. Alright, so basically put on this oval chainring from Line Components. It's not a paid or endorsement or anything. I just think these guys make quite a good product, and you can go check them out. So we're going to take that one off, and then we're going to put this one on there. The first thing you want to do is grab yourself a nice piece of rag so you don't damage your crank, and then you want to clean inside here, because these are small bolts. And you don't want to strip them, because if they strip, then you're not going to get them out. So just make sure that's nice and clean. Then we're going to take our little torque stool, put on its place. Take a little torque stool, And when you remove these, make sure they are in there nice and secure. Once again, just remove them. Alright, so we're going to clean the outside of this quite nice. We're going to put a light line of grease on there because it can create a bit of a creaking noise when you're riding it with some dirt or gunk in there. And then the main thing we're going to do is we're going to put some grease inside the thread here to make sure when we put it back on, it doesn't get stuck like it was just now. So we're going to take this one. You'll see you can't actually put this on wrong. Just make sure your writing is towards the outside as your writing is on the crank as well. And then you'll see there's an offset on these 3 bolts that will line up with the offset on these 3 bolts. So don't worry about putting this on wrong. It can only go on one way with the 3 bolts. So I'm going to do this and then I'll show you guys the final step of putting the crank back. Alright, so actually on the thumbnail of this video, so I said that I will show you guys how to remove the crank. Now this part is easy. Basically just going to push this through, and that's how you remove the crank on this. Now you can clean this nicely. You can use your normal dub BB remover. You can remove the BB if you want to, but that's basically how you're going to remove your dub crankset. So we've let me put some grease on here as well. So we've put on the new chainring on there. We're going to grease this up and then I'll show you guys the final step on that. Alright, so we've greased up the crank or the axle, we put it through, it literally just pushes through, and now we're going to put this back on there, the drive side. The one thing you guys must remember when taking something like this off, especially when you're going bigger, that before you tighten it or torque it down, that you make sure that your blade doesn't hit the frame. That's the main thing. And then what you guys will see is, on your crank itself, it usually says the Newton meters it needs to be torqued to. Now on this one, it's usually between 48 to 54 newtons. So that means not the outside one, that's the inner bolt. That's the bolt turning there. So you're going to make sure you torque that to 54 Newton meters. And like I said, just make sure that the blade don't touch your frame before torquing it down too much, because you'll damage the frame with just turning it once. So that's basically how you remove your crankset, the dub crankset, and replace the chainring on there. Super easy. Remember to torque these down as well, and just put a little bit of Loctite on there, not too much, literally just a small dab. And yeah, I'm going to put this back and then we'll do some motivation. Alright guys, I hope everything is quite alright because I'm taking it on my phone. It's actually funny, I haven't used my phone in a very long time. I don't have a big motivation speech or encourage you guys or whatever today, because as we all are human, we all go through our own struggles and we all have our own little mountain we're climbing out, and it's sad in times like these that we are not able to help people or commit to promises we try to make. But I encourage you guys with this little thing that if you know you can't do something, rather say it. Don't put yourself under that amount of stress to know that you're not able to do something. In today's time, I'm pretty sure most people will understand. So never commit, or never try to commit to something that you're almost 90% sure you won't be able to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it with that. Guys, be strong, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. And before I end, I think what I'm going to try to do is, as September is my birthday month, I'm going to try to do daily vlogging for the whole month, just for September, because it's not that easy to do daily vlogging every day. I've done it in the past and it's quite harsh on you. But I'm going to try for the month of September, even if it's just a normal little vlog. I'm going to put that on there for the whole month, just to get us going again. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy.